Are we really on?
You live?
What's going on, guys? It's Monday. Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. I'm Nadeska. That's Akademiks. This is Wayno.
That's me.
Hope you guys had a great weekend. What's up, my friends?
What's going on? What did you do this weekend?
I was in LA, man. Yeah, I hate LA. Actually, I love LA. Yeah, I hate LA.
That was too fast.
LA is so empty. Like, I'm out there. This is emptiness you get in LA.
As in, like,
I feel like
philosophical sense, or
no,
like
it's two
physically?
things. I have my LA observations going on.
Okay.
At least if you're around the scene. Like, I don't know about rural LA or just residential LA. Talking about just kind of being in the scene. Because number one, everybody want to be in the industry. Second, everyone is like pretend important. Third of all, everybody's capping about their lifestyle. And like, fourth of all, everybody's fake as fuck. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just straight social climate. Imagine that being your world. There's a little bit of emptiness in there.
Fair. Can we give some love to the LA natives, though? We're not talking about you guys.
Oh, no. Love the LA
Just to be
natives.
clear.
Yeah, we just talking about niggas who be in the hills and, you know what I mean, who believe they're rappers and don't really have a record out. Yeah, those guys.
So you're not moving to LA?
Probably I am. But no, I'm just trying to be I'm trying to be like you. You got a house in Miami, LA, and New York. I'm trying to do the same.
What I am trying to do is move to Europe. How do you make that happen?
Europe.
Everyday Struggle International. I don't want to move to LA. I want to move to London or somewhere in Europe.
Yo, ASAP Rock hit me on the phone saying, don't move, nigga. Stay your ass in New York. Even he gets the memo. I'm good.
Yeah, it's nasty out there.
Wait, what you do?
This weekend, I didn't do much. I went to go see It. Me and my son went to go see It this weekend.
It's Halloween season
What's
already?
It?
The movie It. About the clown, you know?
Oh.
Wait, but it came out last year.
Well, the first one, the remake came out last year, and they did the sequel to the remake that came out this weekend. So
What? Oh,
yeah, we
shit.
went to go see that, and then I ain't do shit. I stayed.
Was
in
it
the crib.
scary? Because the first one I watched was funny as fuck.
Those movies don't really scare me. I was scared of like Boys in the Hood and shit like that growing up. You know what I mean? Those movies don't really scare me. Yeah, those shits don't scare me. Shit's fake. It's television.
All right. So last Thursday, Nicki Minaj got on Twitter and announced her retirement. She said, "I've decided to retire and have my family. I know you guys are happy now. To my fans, keep on repping me. Do it till the death of me." Eventually, she responded to a fan. Of course, the Barbs had a lot of feelings about this. She said, "I'm still right here, still madly in love with you guys, and you know that. In hindsight, this should have been a Queen Radio discussion, and it will be. I promise you guys will be happy. No guests, just us talking about everything." She said the tweet was abrupt and insensitive. "I apologize." So she hasn't really announced a date for Queen Radio yet. Sources close to her tell TMZ that she does have studio time booked for the next month, but she has no plans to record with other artists. And they also think that this retirement is basically because she's sick of the trolls and she really needs a break from them. Over the weekend, 50 wrote on IG that he doesn't want her to retire, just to take a break. So do you guys think she's really going to retire? Is it be really just because of the trolls?
No rapper retires. I think the only rapper I could think of that really kind of retires is like Malice from the Clips. Like,
did he really retire? Didn't he keep putting out more music?
For a little bit, but like he doesn't really rap anymore. You know what I mean? Of course, we would love to have a Clips album, right? But that's besides the point. But yeah, I don't think that Nicki would retire. I think that she is, you know, having a little bit of self-reflection. And I said this like last year when I first got on the show. Like, you know what I mean? That sometimes you need to detox from the industry and all that other shit. And I think it's because like her perception in the game is like people don't really fuck with her. Which I would never want to see Nicki retire. Regardless to like me saying certain things that she's done that I don't like, I would never want to see her retire. I think that she's a legend. Her approach in certain things might not be approved by me, but that ain't for me to say really. I mean, but I don't think this is retire. I think that like she was feeling herself, but it's also gonna be like a fishing rod. I think this fishing rod is to see everybody who celebrated, and y'all gonna hear about yourselves on Queen Radio. Which I like for real. Like, I really everybody who celebrated, y'all is about to fucking get it. Especially this nigga, which
Wait, I didn't celebrate.
You ain't celebrate, but you went hard though.
No. I've been critical of Nicki Minaj because Nicki Minaj is quite critical of me. So, you know, I like to reciprocate the energy. In terms of her retirement, you know, I don't ever really think in entertainment 99% of people really retire by choice. You usually get retired by either the fans, by if it's sports, like usually your body can't function up to par. But rarely do you see people actually at their peak or somewhat in their prime or where they're able to still perform their craft at a high level say, I'm walking away. Right. So when I saw this, I thought it was super impulsive, which she later admitted. So she said, yo, I'm out of here. And, you know, I've had this angle ever since I saw her show up on Beats One and Cried, where she said, like she was crying about how people perceived her with the motorsport thing. She again brought that up, which by the way, that's 2 years old, almost going to 3. Right. 2 years old, she brought that up even recently. Back then I said, this might be to drum up sympathy. I don't know if I necessarily still believe that she's trying to get people to be sympathetic. Of course, her fan base loves her. But when you hear like trolls and stuff like that, who's really trolling Nicki? This is one of the first times I've ever seen.
People trolling Nicki act. You don't think people trolling Nicki?
I don't necessarily really think that. Hold on. This is one of the first times I've seen a rapper who we would all here agree, she's legendary, and she says she's retiring, and outside her fan base, unilaterally, at least from my lens, everybody was celebrating.
When you say everybody, though?
Everybody I seen on Twitter, unless maybe I just follow the Nicki trolls.
That's what I'm saying, like your specific fan base, you're talking about
No, I don't even think it's just my specific fan base. I think if anyone who most likely you wouldn't identify as a Nicki super fan, like the casual fans were just kind of over it.
Okay.
And, you know, I think
But not over the music, I think just over the drama, right?
I think both.
Really?
I think a lot of casual fans are at that point of being tired of her. You know, maybe some of it's the attitude, but I do think a lot of it is the music too, you know? And I think that's why she, you know, counteracts with trying to like put stuff in perspective to say, how do you guys celebrate certain other things while I am more talented than other people, or I do more than other people, or I've accomplished more than other people and you guys aren't. Like, this is a double standard. I'll give her that. If Cher brings this up, I'll give her it. I'll be on record saying it. I do believe partly it's because she's a woman. Yeah, like she's 36, going to be 37, and I think people are just tired of her. She's like super old to the casual audience, which is much different than they would view someone like, for example, Jay, who's been around, and you know, like I know Jay's one of the greatest ever.
Yeah, I mean, I think
but
all
still
of that
both legends.
is possible, but I guess on my behalf and other female fans, I don't feel like we're tired of the music so much. It's just all the other shit that surrounds
That's what I was gonna say. I think that the thing about Nicki is we've never seen, in the past 2 years, she's been more vocal. In the past, well, I say in the past, last year to this year, in the past year, she's been more vocal about things that's affected her than she has in the past 10 years of her career. And because we're not used to seeing her speak as much, it's kind of opening up a lens of people that's saying, I didn't know she was like that.
The Travis Scott thing was too much for me.
Yeah,
I felt a way after that. Like calling out another sort of black artist to that level, the way she insulted him, I don't know.
I get that, but I do still sympathize with a lot of different things that she's going through, because there's a lot of factors that go into it. I don't think, like how Ax said she cried, I don't think a lot of times it was just her crying. It is unfair, like, yo, no bullshit. If a dude goes up, I remember when Nas went to Power 105 and ranted about his whole shit with Jay-Z, and everybody was tuned in and everybody supported how they was like, yo, he's trying to blackball him and all this different stuff. People supported that. When Nicki does it, then she's just an emotional woman. So I do understand,
didn't we say sort of something similar about Khaled? When he allegedly went crazy about his album not doing well, and the whole thing with Tyler was a similar thing. So I guess there is some of that. Obviously, there always is, but I don't know. I just think a lot of artists go through a lot of horrible shit.
It's still even perceived a little bit different with Khaled, because Khaled's not actually rapping on the records. Like, I mean, if Khaled was rapping on the records, we would look at it a little bit differently as well. Like, she's rapping on these records, and it's the thing is, Act does have a point too. Like, I think that people just get tired of the artists after a certain point in time, and especially when we live in this era where everything is like, now we got Meg Thee Stallion, we got Rico Nasty, it's so easy to pick to who's the next one. Nicki's not the favorite how she once was, but I don't think that people should like not appreciate her as much as they once did. Like, I don't think that that's cool.
The reason why I'm saying that, I believe not only are they a little bit tired of her, they're tired of the music. I keep mentioning, y'all find me some Nicki songs besides Chun-Li in the last 3 years. I'll say 2, just that because somebody's gonna come with some weird fact like, yo, this guy. In the last 2 years, that is a solo record where she's a lead female that has performed well over a span of 6 months. And usually when we're talking about hit songs, not only where you peaked, is how long the duration of how you stay on the charts. most of her songs, her fan base is pushing. Megatron peaked at 20, dropped off the charts in a record for 4 or 5 weeks. That's not even normal. I'm just saying her fan base is great, and I think she's dealing with that inner conflict of her fan base loves her. She's amazing to them. But I do think casual fans and people who aren't super fans of her, they're tired of her, bro. And I think when she announces her retirement, it's either for 2 things. Number one, so that could always be a good strategy to promote an album. Second of all, it could be to, okay, y'all, let me give y'all what y'all want. And sometimes you also then see people reflect like, oh man, like she wasn't that bad, or oh shit, yo, we're gonna miss her. And I think she kind of sat back and watched those reactions, not from her fan base. Of course, her fan base was like, we love you and we miss you. But some people celebrated her, like, retiring. And a few were like, oh, you know, shit, you know what? She is a legend at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think she needs that just even on a psyche level. And again, that's me projecting what I think and based on everything I've seen from her. But I think she kind of threw that out there to kind of like, you know what, fuck it, y'all won. It's like the Offset tweet, y'all won. Y'all won. But I don't think she going nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think she retires, yo. I do. She did say that she wanted to start a family, right?
Right.
So I think that's also a good thing. She can't. Not saying she can't. I don't think that she would want to, you know, be pregnant and running around. Like, she's a vet also. Like, she's a vet in this game. Like, she doesn't want to be running around and trying to balance the two. She might want to take some time to have for herself. She's about to get married or is married. She probably wants to have a kid at this point. Like, if she's retiring or taking some time off for that, no problem. But I don't want to ultimately see Nicki not ever do music again. Like, I would never say something like that.
Yeah, but I will say, like, if this was to soften how fans or whoever you call the trolls.
See, here goes the conspiracy theory.
No. Also, no. If she said that, hoping that people would like.
But people on the internet are always going to be petty, so it's not really like a good gauge. You know,
yes.
You're going to get more negative reactions. Period.
Man, I'm gonna just keep it 1,000. The shit that Nicki. Because Nicki has been trying to control the narrative. I do believe Queen Radio, her doing Joe Budden's podcast, her speaking out, being more vocal, trying to put stuff in perspective, which honestly, she makes some good points at times when she's not screaming, name calling, and throwing a little bit of a temper tantrum. And that's not related to whether she's a woman or a man. I just think that's how she is, period. Yeah. She makes good points at times. She stood for great issues, and she's been very progressive. Like, for example, she was one of the people who fought for a streaming account for what it does for a lot of artists, and that's now the status quo. However, some of the things she's fighting for in terms of respect, in terms of her artistry, in 2019, niggas don't give 2 fucks about. Like, I don't even think niggas, like she constantly says, yo, I'm writing, it takes this to write. Like, she's always like down to people that don't. I don't think people care about that shit no more. It's over. Like,
yeah, I mean,
you can
I
stop
definitely agree that
every time you mention that, you look like you're either making an excuse or salty. You gotta stop that shit. And again, you know, like, one thing I don't think she's probably also accepted, which I think Wayne had to accept at a certain point, is that you can't be the new chick that everyone's fascinated with and the whole world loves and want to see win, and still have that almost underdog mentality in terms of fan support. Other people are gonna get it too. And if you can't accept yourself as a vet, because some people like to say, like, she's not doing as well. She's still doing well. Like, remember, okay, her album was #1, but it was like #2 by like a couple.
Yeah, but yeah,
it wasn't that bad. But when you hear her complain, it makes it seem worse. I think if she could embrace her status as queen.
We'd like to see the warmer side of Nicki, right? We've seen the side that you just talked about a lot. She thinks she has a warmer side of her personality where she could light up a room and can be very infectious. I would just like to see more of that side of her. I think that would go a long way. That's my personal opinion.
Then we get glimpses. I mean, we got a lot of glimpses of that when she was younger. Like, you know what I mean? When she first started.
Glimpses,
like,
but we want more now.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why she wants to take herself away from it, because she's, one thing I say, man, and I said this before, I said the same thing about like not comparing them, but Cardi, like, that's a New York chick right there, man. Like, Nicki is a New York chick. Unapologetically, she's gonna be who she is, whether you accept it or not. And I don't think that what we want from her is what she's not giving that to nobody. She's gonna be who she is. She's showing us who she is for real.
And 2 other things, though, I do think she has a very, very unhealthy obsession with Cardi B. It's so blatant when she takes shots at her, the writing stuff, other ways how she tried to distinguish why people should value her as an artist or her craft more than another artist. And a lot of times it's downplaying someone who right now people would consider like probably the top female artist at the moment. Beyond that though, like in terms of what 50 said, I don't agree with 50 in terms of she should take a break. Nicki is taking mad breaks. Like I think she'll take a break and then she'll come back, and for those 2 to 3 weeks or those 2 months, we feel like, oh man, she's doing too much. She should go away again. It's like, could we handle her or not? Because remember, she was distant or she was absent on social media for felt like about 6 or 7 months, right? She came back, she rolled out the album, you know? Yes, she was pretty vocal about first week sales, got it. But then she kind of, you know, chilled out. And then now I'm guessing it might be time to roll on another album and people are saying she should take a break. I think she hasn't done that much that she should take a break.
You think she was getting ready to roll out another project?
If I'm hearing studio time being booked,
So album and then okay, I guess we'll just see.
She's not retiring.
So not at all. This was just, all right.
This is like one of them, the Game retirements. He retires after every album.
No, the Game always retires.
He retires after every album.
That's not the same, man. That's not the same.
Nah.
Nicki never said she was ever going to retire before, though. She never said that.
Well, I'm gonna just leave it.
All right, you know what? All right, so
No, just because it's so impulsive that I start to think other things. Like when you're sending out and being that impulsive with decisions like that, and you later then have regrets, it tells me you may be in an altered state of mind.
I mean, just chill. I think like if you're gonna do something, just do it. Don't even don't even tweet about it. Don't even say it. You know, like. Are
you crazy? This is the music industry.
I know.
What are you talking about?
Because I still live in a world where I don't have to tell niggas shit or show them shit that's really going on.
All right, so tell that to Lil Tecca, because apparently Nicki's not the only one who may or may not be considering retirement. So in a series of tweets, Lil Tecca warned fans that he may be quitting real soon. He said, "Could care less about some money if I'm not happy. I hate this shit. I love y'all, but this won't be continuing as long as y'all thought." And then he added, "There's like 30 other rappers that sound just like me. Y'all will be good."
I mean, people will argue that this that Lil Tecca sounds like 30 other rappers too. Like, I would think that this should, nah, honestly, I mean, I don't even knock him because he wasn't even alive when Come Home With Me came out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, seriously, he's grown up in the social media era and he looks like a very, very, very introverted kid.
Right.
Like, he doesn't like,
what do you guys think is getting to him? The pressures of fame, the trolls as well, just industry politics, what?
This shit is a professional business and it's a lot to do. Like, it's a lot to do. If you're a person that don't like being around people, you don't like speaking to people, you don't like being out, this shit is not the profession for you. Like, it's really not. And I think that might just bother him a little bit. Like, or he seems as if he's starting to figure out some of the industry politics and he doesn't want to fucking deal with it. And I can't knock him for that because I don't be wanting to deal with this shit neither.
Lil Tecca should toughen up. And toughen up or stop complaining. A lot of people don't know about how he became Lil Tecca, so the pre-Ransom Tecca or the pre-Did It Again Tecca, but Tecca was one of the biggest trolls. Like, I don't know if you know, like, Toronto hates him. Like, he was this kid online who was in Queens who was trolling people from Toronto, acting like he was there, and seriously, for real, baiting these guys into arguments, possible fights, but that was him.
You dead ass?
I'm serious. Like, again, it's like, of course, like, you look at, when you think about trolls and maybe even trolls going wrong, you think it's 6ix9ine just to the extreme, but like, he came up in this little troll generation. So do I think is the audience getting to him? No, I think it is a business. He's realizing how the music business is. And honestly, he did a lot of trolling trying to get into this shit. Nigga, either toughen up or stop complaining. Like, again, if people only see the things on the surface, oh, he's 16, he's a kid. Yo, this nigga was trolling grown-ass men in Toronto, telling them he's gonna do all type of stuff to them, and then later admitted, yo, I'm a kid, I just troll, like, that's what happens. So I'm sorry to say, this is either, number one, contrived, because it's always good to, like, send out, I'm quitting, you know? When you want your fans to copy your shit, yo, I'm done. This is the last one. If you ain't cop this, we'll be no more. So either that, or toughen up, bro. Like, I mean, and
look, yo, at least when Jay-Z said he was retiring after his first album, he dropped a classic piece of work and he was 26 years old. Like, these kids, he's retiring. Like, Retiring from what? You got a top 10 record this year, a fucking top 10 album this year. You know what I see when I see this? And, I could care less about money. You ain't doing the right shit with the money. And that's no, for real. You're not doing the right stuff with the money. Because at 16 to say, or 17, going on 18,
16.
the niggas not legal to do a lot of shit. Let's just put it like that. For him to be complaining about stuff like this, like, what's going on in your life, my nigga? Like, I don't know. What's going on? For real, because I don't get it. I don't understand why everybody's so sad. That's why I can't get into the sad music. These niggas is making, Tecca made over $1 million already. You complaining about, like, being successful in something that you wanted to do?
Listen, man, niggas sound like a $5 million deal with Republic or whoever he signed with. You know, why being collective or Namir's manager, Ace said it perfectly in my comment section. What's up with all these niggas like begging to be successful, getting a success, and then now depressed immediately? It's not even a why.
It's happening too fast for them. That's the problem. That's the problem. And I say this shit all the time. $5 million, $10 million, whatever fucking deal it is. You did not work for it. It's like hitting the fucking lotto. How can somebody be responsible for something that they didn't earn? Not saying that he didn't earn it, but think about this, right? This kid is only 17 years old, right? I got sneakers older than this nigga. Like, no, I'm dead serious. I have sneakers older than this nigga. No, I'm being dead serious. He did not, he put in work.
It happened very quickly.
It happened fast, so it's like you can't even appreciate the grind. Like, the grind that he probably went to compared to the grind that people usually go to is not the same thing.
Trolling Canadians,
get your numbers up. Same like Lil Nas X. Like, I mean, I haven't seen him make a real fucking complaint. But like,
yeah, he seems like he's enjoying
He's
this.
chilling.
Yeah.
He's having fun. But it's like you give these kids all this fucking money because they're gonna make you all this money back. And then let's say in 2 years, Tecca really, let's say he's not relevant to how he is now. Then the label don't give a fuck about you. All right, nigga, we got. But they're entrusting these kids with too much bread. Too much bread. It's too much, Akademiks.
No. I won't say it's too much because if Tecca signed for $5 million, trust me, Republic or whoever it makes,
they're gonna make 50 or 60 million off of him.
What I will say though, I do think, and I don't know if this is necessarily his angle. I know a couple people who like know him pretty intimately. Pause. And
I love his pauses.
That's so stupid.
But like they said, like, you know, he is having that adjustment period, so he's kind of.
Are they pressuring him to do things that he doesn't want to do? What, like, can you
like,
do you have any more details on it? Yeah, what's good? Too many shows, too many appearances, putting out music he doesn't want to put out.
I don't know that part, but I do believe, like, to be honest, this might be an angle just to like still connect with his fans. That's what I'm saying. Still connect to his fans. Like, it's like when an artist sign, they sign and they still jacking independent. It's like. Okay. When you're complaining about the industry, like the fans kind of feel like, yo, don't let it change you, Tecca, you know what I mean? All that shit. Stop it, man.
He just wants some love on Twitter. Okay.
This he ain't have no Illuminati shit done to him yet.
Wait, isn't this shit called We Love You, Tecca? Is he not feeling the love? I don't know. Yeah.
Hold on. I will additionally say though, right? Like, and yeah, I was showing a little bit, just like him, in analyzing this, but he drops Ransom. Like, if you look at his come up, he did it again. I first heard about him in, I want to say like January, February. Did it again, got on World Star, did about like 300,000 views, got to about like 400,000, 500,000, 500,000. Then he gets a co-Bennett feature, right? He was with for a while, Republic, they got him off and now he's signed for this big ass deal. Now, he already dropped the project. And I think maybe him also realizing that when you sign a deal like that, I thought the album came rather quick, but I understand why it came that quick. His song is the highest grossing song in the country and has been for the last month. Because of that, the label's saying, nigga, you hot.
I ain't mad at it.
Give me 19 songs, let's throw it on a project, let's put it out. I don't believe that he would have dropped a project at this moment.
Okay.
But I'm not mad at him dropping a project at this moment, only because people wait so long when they have the record.
No, but again, being a new artist that just came from literally, the only reason I mentioned UM, that's United Masters, is that he was actually pretty independent. He could do what he wants when he wants. Now the labels got you on a schedule because you got to recoup the money they've given you, but that lack of control, especially he's a young kid who, again, you know, like I seen him even try, like he put on his Insta Snap, he was like, yo, it's just fucking crazy. I can't even upload my own music to my SoundCloud because they're blocking it. When you're now into this system,
wow,
and the lack of control or what's been taken away from you, maybe now he kind of feels a little bit like a puppet, a robot, and that might also be literally mentally getting to him. And then the demands of whatever he has to do in order to fucking recoup.
It was cool. It was cool when he signed that deal.
Yeah.
It was. I don't hear nothing. These niggas, these kids keep making these grown men decisions. You want to do business. You got lawyers and business managers and advisors and all these other people. You doing grown man business. I don't want to hear shit when you can't do what you want to do. You know what you signed up for, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't understand. But stop complaining, yo.
I do also believe tweeting it out, nigga, you could just stop. Like, you could not go to your shows. You could not show for press.
Imagine that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
If
you really about it, right, and you're not trying to garner sympathy or still seem like you're down to earth as your fans might want to believe,
yeah,
you don't tweet about it. You just don't do anything, and you'll see what happens. Also, by the way, in 2 to 3 years, he'll be begging to have this hype again.
Right, I don't want to reduce this to age, but he's a 17-year-old kid. He don't know what the fuck he want in life. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like most 17-year-olds don't know what the fuck they want in life. So I'm not gonna just put that, but that's a big factor too. So.
All right, so nobody's really retiring. That's what we learned today. Don't worry, guys. When I retire, you'll never hear from me again. I'm not tweeting nothing. I'm just gonna vanish into fucking black hole.
Nigga retire. Y'all heard like 10 niggas when I was in LA play me their music that's about to come out. They all had Tecca on it. What retiring is he doing?
Yeah, right.
Nigga, he's like a motherfucker now. What the hell?
And features is going up.
Oh, man. All right, let's talk about some music. Enough about retirements. So last Friday, Post Malone dropped his third album, Hollywood's Bleeding. Remember, Beer Bongs and Bentleys was like a mega album for him. Did almost $500,000 first week. This one has 17 tracks, features from Travis Scott, Young Thug, Sway Lee, SZA, Ozzy Osbourne, and more people. 4 big singles, Sunflower, Whoa, Goodbyes, and Circles. Did you guys like this follow-up?
This was good. I mean, like, you know, Post Malone, I think is really interesting seeing where he's at now. Because I remember when he had the whole double XL shit, and he said he turned it down, but he didn't, or whatever the case may be. He said that he wanted to be looked at as more than just a hip-hop artist, which I had problems with that, because I'm like, dog, you're part of hip-hop. I felt like he looked exactly like A$AP Yams. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you are a part of hip-hop. People is co-signing you, people fucking with you. And I think he still has that there, but he has, like, super surpassed, like, whatever expectations was put on him as an artist. I mean, I think that this album was dope. I seen it as Soul a lot, but then I also seen that Sunflower was on it, which is...
Yeah, I mean, I watched a little bit of Into the Spider-Verse with my nephew this weekend. I realized all the kids know that song. He's like 9 years old, so yeah, of course, like, the sales are going to be crazy for him.
Yeah, but like, I calls him the cheat code. Like, nah, that nigga, he got a knack for... I don't think he can miss. You know what I mean? Like, he just has a knack for making really, really dope music. Was not surprised, but like it was dope that he put Meek Mill and Lil Baby on the record. You know what I mean? That was dope. The joint with SZA is dope too. I like this joint from Post Malone. You know what I mean? It's interesting to see what he'll do outside of that, because I know he has like Tyler Yahweh coming up as an artist around him and Dre. Like, to see if they could break another artist is gonna be interesting. But salute to Posty.
Ak, what'd you think? I think you like the lead ups. Also, this thing, it's wow, not whoa. I can't ever read that word.
Honestly, like this is the first album I really had to think. I'm like, yo, what genre is this kid in? You know? And the reason why it is, you know, I've always said, like, we got to claim him as hip-hop because, you know, he started in hip-hop and they don't allow other entertainers who are black, even if they sound worldly, to escape out of hip-hop once you start in the shit. But the last project, the Beer Bongs and Bentley, which I think everybody loved, I think, you know, it was kind of on the borderline in terms of just if you sonically and if you're just trying to classify. Yeah, you heard some 808s and some stuff that...
Yeah, but like Rockstar compared to these singles, these are a lot more pop.
Yeah, these songs, that's what I'm saying. With this now, it's like, we got to come up... It's like there's a Post Malone genre. Overall, I think, and by the way, I think the most hip-hop thing about this album is like the features. Like, yeah, you got Future, you got Meek, you got a couple people on there. But overall... I like it. I'm not gonna say necessarily it's better than Beer Bongs and Bentley for me. I'm not gonna say for everybody else, because I think some more of these songs, just like how you heard it on the soundtrack of the Spider-Man joint, like I feel like they're meant for global consumption rather than, okay, it still has those hip hop elements that we could still love in certain communities or certain part of the culture, but it's still big enough to like be number one for like ever.
Yeah.
So these records are a little bit different, but reviewing this project, I didn't feel like I was reviewing a hip hop album at all.
You know what's crazy though? I mean, even with saying that about all these like worldly sounds he has, like when you listen to certain shit, he's not spitting bars, but he's rapping. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can hear he's rapping on certain shit. Like, how he's matching his words together, how he's rhyming. Like, of course, he's not giving you the verse of his life, but he is rapping on there. So it does show me that he does care about that part of it when it comes to his puzzle.
Yeah, you know? Maybe it's just the production. I also really like Stoney.
Yeah.
I like the first 2 albums a lot. But yeah, it definitely sounds a lot different.
Also, last thing about this project, at least for me, his projects usually sound better with time. Like in a month or so when they're pumping, actually 3 months or so when they're pumping like the 4th single down your throat, and you're realizing they're gonna, and pause on that by the way, I seen your face.
I didn't say
You're gonna have to put a cap on your pauses per episode.
I just see his face. Okay. And when you're realizing they're promoting like the 7th single like 6 months later, you realize like, damn, I actually like a lot more songs on it than you previously thought. So I'm gonna hold off saying I still think it won't surpass Beer Bongs and Bentley for me, but I do think it's a cool project.
Does he get an Oscar for that? Because didn't Into the Spider-Verse, it won an Oscar?
I think it would have to win it for the soundtrack.
For the soundtrack, right?
Yeah.
I seen it did win something. Well, I don't know if Oscars, but I know it did win something for the music, but whatever.
Side note, Earth Gang's album also came out last weekend. I really like that. Check that out. Maryland.
Yeah, I'm digging into that this week.
It's really dope. Ak, you want to take us through some numbers?
Oh yeah, Post Malone, he's gonna be number 1 for a long ass time, all right? He's definitely gonna debut number 1 with his album that we just discussed, Hollywood Bleeding. And it's supposed to be the highest, second highest actually, if we're calling it a hip hop project, it'll be the highest opening sales for any album of 2019. Of course, the overall highest goes to Taylor Swift, who sold like 1 trillion. And it's projected to do around like between 450 to 550,000 first week. Also, Lil Tecca, we also discussed his album, and he want to quit. Maybe not after he sees these numbers, because his album, We Love Tecca, debut at number 4, selling 68,000 first week, which, to be honest, like if you really do the math on it, his song Ransom, that's the power of having a song that's performing that well. His song Ransom literally accounted for like 35,000 of those sales. Like imagine half the album sales is like one song doing so well did that. Yeah. Young Thug, So Much Fun, which still on the chart doing well, and I think word of mouth is helping Thug. We've never seen Thug do these numbers on the chart.
Fucking love this album.
He sold 61,000. It's in his 3rd week. Like there's a lot of albums. I think even if his 3rd week numbers were his 1st week numbers, this album will still be his best first week numbers ever.
He's coasting. He's looking like how, my fault to cut you off, but remember how A Boogie he did, and then he started coasting. It's like, it looks like he's gonna coast this for a bit, but it's a really, really dope album.
Yo guys, Wayno is officially a Young Thug fan.
Absolutely.
It took him a while, but he came over to the dark side, yo. He loves this album.
I've been fucking with Thugger, but I love this fucking album.
He's one of us now.
And by the way, to be honest, one thing I realized, I've never seen Thug ever really talk about sales. Never seen him like, maybe because he never really did too well in sales before, but I saw him like made a comment, really it was about the So Brooklyn challenge that Casanova got really popular, and then G Herbo did it for Chicago, and I seen him comment, he was like, yo, chill out, man. Let me keep my number 1 for a little bit. So, I could imagine he's pretty proud about how his album is doing as well. My man C Breezy, still top 10, he ain't going nowhere. 33,000 units sold this week. And Astroworld, which surprisingly came out over a year ago with Nicki's album, same week. We just talked about Nicki.
Yes, we know.
It sold 31,000 this week, but mostly because of that Netflix special.
Did you watch it?
Nah, not yet.
That shit is fire.
It's good, right? I really want to see it this weekend. I'm telling you, just from the trailer, it looked really good.
It's good. I mean, I love to see people's stories from where they start to where they go, and it's like he grinded for this shit, yo. Like he grinded like really tough for this shit, and like just his performances, you know what I mean? Like him performing, seeing how involved he is with all the what is it, the stage management, and his set design and all that, seeing how evolved he is, like you see why he's doing like good numbers. Like he puts a lot of time into his craft, for real. Musically, all of that. They show like when he first hit sicko mode, all that shit.
Yeah,
it's
it
dope.
was crazy. Astroworld was great. Still listening to that.
Drake
Even
verse,
just watch the trailer. It's like you on Twitch with your fucking sombrero on, going crazy. Yeah,
I gotta watch this.
He was hype.
That's dope. It's dope.
All right, so let's wrap up with the fan questions. Kind of ties into sort of, especially the Nicki topic. So, real question: does any other genre of music critique, criticize, and downplay their musical legends or most influential artists like hip hop does? Just wondering if there's a new on the scene country singer saying whoever made Sweet Home Alabama is trash.
Nope. Only hip hop. Only fucking hip hop. It's unfortunate, but like hip hop, you know the thing about it is hip hop culture. It's a lot of things that tie into hip hop culture. Of course, snapping is one of them. You know what I mean? Joking on niggas. Like and that's a big part of how we get through our day. And sometimes when a person isn't as good as they used to be, that's the first thing people point out. Or if a person doesn't understand that, or if somebody's older, and it goes both ways. Like older people in hip hop culture think that the youth don't understand shit, even though they were the youth at one time. The youth think the older people don't understand shit. It's a big disconnect. I think that there is like respect, there's disrespect too, but only in hip hop. I mean, only in hip hop do we say Jay-Z or fucking Nas, fuck Nas, like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck Jay-Z, fuck Jada, like, only in hip hop do they do that shit. I've never seen a bunch of kids go on a tirade dissing Ozzy Osbourne, you know what I mean? Or dissing fucking, what's my man name? James Blunt, or no shit like that. Like, I've never seen nobody do that, so I say it's hip hop.
I mean, I haven't seen that recently, though. I haven't seen. Who else said Nas is trash recently?
I mean, did we seen the whole thing with Lonzo Ball? He didn't say it was trash.
Well, I think for him, like, you know, well, you got to understand how, like, people view music. They're saying what it means to them.
Yeah.
Like, shit might mean something different. Like, again, something that was in the 80s that meant a lot to someone who grew up then or who prefer artists from that era might not mean a lot to someone now. I think saying trash, I think that's just complete disrespect. And actually, I don't think
that's one of your favorite words, trash.
No, but we haven't seen any other young dudes just call like legends. I mean, no. Trash.
Well, let's say we haven't seen
old heads. We don't hear people say it's not always that specific word. But come on, Ak, jog your memory a little.
No. But when they're saying that, it's usually in regards to their craft. They'll call someone an old head for not understanding or valuing what they do. You get me? But we haven't seen people just say, yo, like, remember Yachty was a little bit critical of like Biggie. Be like, yo, he didn't understand.
He was born the year Biggie died.
You get me? So, and he got killed for that. You know, like, but everybody else, I think they kind of stay away from like just disrespecting legend like that.
Well, I mean, like you also factor into like we talk about like the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. So we talk about dance. There's no way possible you can be a dancer. I don't give a fuck what era you grew up in and not study the arts of like breakdancing and, you know, Crush Groove and B Street. I seen Lil Uzi this summer fucking do a backspin. He was breakdancing. I mean, he always was known for dancing before he was known for rapping. But how does that happen? Lil Uzi didn't fucking learn breakdancing by watching the artists of his generation doing it. So he does have some sort of knowledge of what's come before him, but he also said, if you're 25 and older, you an old head. Like, you know what I mean? I think that we just have this thing, it's just a disconnect. It's like everybody shitting on each other. Right. The younger dudes shitting on the older dudes, and the older dudes shit, because it's like, oh, you don't know shit because you're age. And it's like, yeah, but you were once my age, and the people older than you felt like you didn't know shit. And there's no real connection when it comes to like transparency. I think like appreciation for hip hop as a whole, people don't look at it as an art. They just look at it now as such a hustle that people like, what do I need to learn that shit for? Yeah. I could just buy a fucking mic and a computer and I could start rapping and get me a $10 million deal tomorrow.
Yeah, and I agree with some of that, but when it comes to just straight up disrespecting legends, I don't think we've seen that in a while. What I will say is that hip hop is the only genre where still, even primarily, and I've been advocating for the last couple of years that we have to have adult contemporary rap, which I think, you know, Jay-Z, when he dropped his last couple of projects, has been kind of, feel like been spearheading like mature rap. But in large in part, it's still about the youth. You feel me? Like, it's like, as soon as you hit a certain point, if you're not relating to that still core demographic, or I won't call it core demographic, that you're not relating to a certain age range, like, you're almost irrelevant. You see all the artists, they're still fighting for that. You know, like, there's few artists who you see, if they have that demographic, they age gracefully and accept that demographic might not be into their music otherwise. Usually, most of them artists just kind of fade away. You get me? Shit, if you ask me, I think that's kind of part of, like, the Nicki struggle. I think people, like, the young people who would normally be into her music like they were when she was dropping Did It Again or Shit It On That, whatever it was, like, back then, you know, like 09 and all that shit. They're gravitating to the Meg Thee Stallions. They're gravitating to, like, the Cardi B's, the new flock of artists. And I do believe it's hard for either artists sometimes to kind of accept that fact, or that's just the reality of hip hop where it's not downplaying, it's just...
But sometimes it's just a little bit of trolling, like Pump and Cole, that came full circle and they made up or whatever, but that was disrespectful at the time. Another artist might have taken that a different way. What about those examples?
Yeah, but even Pump...
Pump couldn't have been running around saying fuck Young Jeezy or fuck Gucci Mane. He couldn't have been running around saying no shit like that. like I'm saying, if J. Cole was the...
J. Cole's an easy target, that's what it was.
Yeah, but he is, but he ain't. Like, he's like, imagine if J. Cole would have smacked Lil Pump or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it would have been warranted.
I'm just saying, it's like, but look where it starts at. Like, what gives you trolling, right? Like, oh, let me say that to get popping. Like, that's not cool. By no means. You know?
I think, though, and you're right, yeah, that did happen with Pump and Smoke Perp, but I think that's kind of plagued them in their careers. That's what I'm saying. Outside those, like...
So you think there are repercussions for it?
Yeah, but I do think those are isolated examples. I don't think... They do credit that as trying to get some clout and clout chasing by saying that shit, but I do believe the way how people perceive their music now, their longevity in the game, and how they're progressing is kind of like they use even that in context and say, hey, y'all used to be disrespecting these guys because you had a hot song in the moment. Now you don't have a hot song, Pump. You just dropped an album. We ain't feeling it like that. Shit looking a little bit different. So I think that has plagued him, but I don't see it on a widespread.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I see the trolls, but I get what you're saying. I don't see, like, any artists saying shit like that.
Publicly trying to...
Yeah.
Thank you, though. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Keep sending those at Everyday Struggle. Well, at Everyday Shrug on Twitter with 2 G's. Thank you guys for watching. We are going to be dark next week and the following week. So we're going to be back on Monday, September 30th. So we'll see you guys here through Thursday of this week. Have a good day.
Long live hip hop.